I think of Dubai, when I think of hip hop, one of the best DJs here is DJ Shef Codes.
Listen to like pop music, it's very clean cut. And you listen to hip hop, you listen to Tupac, especially like gangster rap, it changes your whole mindset. Oh, this is what freedom is. This is your expression of it.
I love lyrics.
Yeah.
And this is why, for me, I fell in love with hip hop, because it's kind of like if you close your eyes and like listen to it, it's like a movie.
You know, Jay-Z had a book called Decode. It was him explaining every lyric why he said it. So it was funny because it's called Decode, like Mr. Shef Codes, like trying to like decode the whole thing.
Yeah.
When I was trying to come up as a DJ, I was trying to do every gig that I could. I was doing like Indian wedding, engagement party, American proms and whatnot. And I realized I was trying to like a DJ code, but I couldn't call myself DJ code because there was way too many DJ codes. If I call myself Shef Codes, I didn't have to be put in one pocket. And it was actually Bliss who first wanted to ask me to come play at Emirates Palace. And that's what it was, man. I owe a lot to him.
Yeah, like he had very limited time, but he definitely saw something in you, and look, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Look where you guys are on, right? So he definitely saw something maybe before you saw something.
DJing obviously is a form of creativity. I just took it under me and did all I can to learn everything I could for it.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I need to get on top of that. I just went proper deep dive into it.
Let's flat out. Big teams, big boys, right?
My highs and lows, inherit growth, Mr. Deeds. Went from juggling 3 jobs to CEO like I'm Steve. Never been a rotten apple, call me John Appleseed. That's how I bleed. God can see, no other man can judge me. Call him Mike, Mr. International, getting cream. Single mother told me worth, and now I'm worth everything. Went from Wall Street to Abu Dhabi, straight rolling in a Maserati with women that feel exotic. My life too pristine.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a statement.
What's going on, man?
Flat out.
Welcome back to the Last Fly Out podcast. If you haven't noticed, for those of you who are looking at video, we're here back in the Dubai studios. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us across all of our social media accounts at Last Fly Out Podcast. In case you've forgotten, my name is Jay. You can find me at JLubriel26 across all of my social media accounts, and you can follow Mike at
If Mike Was Here. Now, welcome back. We're here in Dubai. Me and Jay, being true hip hop heads, we always gotta have a music episode in our season, you know. And when I think of Dubai, when I think of hip hop, it's one of the best DJs here, you know, I'm proud to introduce, is DJ Shef Codes. He's going to probably be doing all the top events that you want to go to. I've been to his parties countless of times, and he just kills it. It's always a vibe. It's always good people, good music. So if you want to know the vibes, this is why we're here. This is why I brought Shef Codes here. Please welcome him in, man. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Well,
super excited to be on this podcast, man.
Yeah. So we do something called word association.
Okay.
Just whatever comes to your mind, just, you know, let us know. But the first word of words is first gig.
Etoile, which is in Emirates Palace, Abu Dhabi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the most memorable one, and my first introduction to big clubs. And so like when you're a young DJ and like you get to a place like Emirates Palace,
It's pretty big.
What's actually happening here, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big deal for me. I mean, I've had a couple of gigs here and there, like the smaller ones, but I think that's the most memorable one.
Yeah. No, that's dope. And Emirates Palace, just for people who don't know, like, it's super luxurious. They got gold fixtures everywhere.
Yeah.
And they don't have a nightclub there anymore, but they used to.
Yeah.
And it was lit.
Yeah, no.
So,
That predates me clearly, because I only know the Emirates Palace with the barbecue thing in the back.
yeah, they used to
No
have a club.
clubs.
When I came, it was called Etoile or something like that.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it from Embassy to Etoile, and then they just kind of like took the nightclub out of there.
Okay. Yeah. So let's take it back, man, to like the roots, man. So you're from Sri Lanka. Let us know where your love from hip hop comes from and DJing in general.
Yeah, do you know when I was in Sri Lanka, my only introduction to music was pop music. So I listened to like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I ain't afraid to say that.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I was listening to them too.
Everybody
that was pop music, and I was like, what was popular at that time? And I think when I came to Dubai, I was still kind of listening to that. And when I started going to school, I started meeting different kind of like nationalities and different kind of what you call ethnicities and whatnot.
Yeah.
And one of them is actually they were Arab rappers at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. At that time, they were like super prominent.
Okay.
They became really good friends, and they were like, "Oh, you need to listen to this album." And one of the album was like a Tupac album.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Which one was it?
I think it's Me Against the World.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
So
to get
good
into.
intro.
So it was just coming listening to like pop music. It's very clean cut. And you listen to hip hop, you listen to Tupac, especially like gangster rap. It changes your whole mindset.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this is what freedom is. Like it's like this is your expression of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm a kind of person that kind of deep dives into whatever I listen to and whatever I want to get into. Hip hop was one of them. I just kind of like deep dove into hip hop and try to see. So then I didn't know what West Coast music was and East Coast music.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to hip hop, I think like you need some sort of like clarification, like what they're saying on. Because like, there's a lot of people who just listen to hip hop just because they want to listen to hip hop.
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And
It's
then-
like, there's a lot of word associations in like the songs that you kind of like you can understand.
Yeah, and then I mean, listening to Tupac at first, like I love lyrics.
Yeah.
And this is why for me I fell in love with hip hop, because it's kind of like if you close your eyes and like listen to it, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and then it takes you places where you're like, what the hell is going on? You know. So,
I often say this with my friends a lot. I have a lyric for every chapter of my life, like from a hip
That's
hop
crazy.
song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything. Like for me, hip hop has really. Aside, I like other genres of music,
Yeah.
but hip hop is the one that resonates the most with me because it's sort of like that, like like grind and that rags to riches type of story.
Yes.
Like there's always an upcoming type of story, and I kind of like that sort of an expression of like how they kind of made it from wherever they came from to where they are today. Instead of that transition, it's like almost going on a journey with these artists. So that's why hip hop for me is always kind of like resonated with me. And also like I try to like be an upbeat person, and hip hop is generally upbeat. Like like some poppy music I tend to avoid because it has sad lyrics, and I'm not like really in that mode, right? Like I don't really want to be hearing about heartbreak and missing people and stuff. So but like for me, like hip hop when I was young, even though I'm Latin and everybody was into like Latin music, for me I kind of resonated towards hip hop, and that kind of like influenced a group of friends I would hang out with. So it's really interesting to see how music can kind of transcend into other parts of your life and influence in those aspects as well.
It's funny, like we were talking about you have a lyric for every chapter of your life. Jay-Z had a book called Decode.
Yeah.
And that was literally it. It was him explaining every lyric why he said it at this time. And so it was funny because it's called Decode. Like Mr. Shef Codes, like trying to like decode the whole thing.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Is that where the name comes from?
no. That's a longer story, man. That's a longer story.
Let us know. Go ahead. Share.
What's the story?
So when I was trying to come up as a DJ, I was trying to do every gig that I could.
Okay.
So I was doing like a Indian wedding and like a random like engagement party and like American proms and whatnot. And then I realized I was trying to do a language like a DJ code,
Got it.
but I couldn't call myself DJ code because there was way too many DJ codes.
Yeah.
So then it was a marketing thing. I just woke up one day and said, if I call myself Shef Codes, I don't have to be associated. I don't have to be put in one pocket. I can call like an artist. If I had to draw, if I had to be a producer, I can call Mr. Shef Codes.
That's true. Wow.
That's
That's the expedited
story.
version.
Yeah, basically.
But as you picked up this album, when did you know that DJing was in your future, or when did you get like sort of drawn into that path? So clearly you like hip hop music, you're drawn into the Tupac album, you kind of like expand your palette. When did you know that DJing was going to be part of your horizon?
I didn't really know it, like because I deep dove into this. I went this rabbit hole of music and DJing. I was always interested in creativity. Like I was always drawing. I was trying to get into art, and I think music was a extension of it. So DJing obviously is a form of creativity.
It is.
So
Yeah.
I just took it under me and did all I can to learn everything I could for it.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, I need to get on top of that. Like in terms of like turntablism, I just went proper deep dive into it.
When was your first turntable that you bought?
Ooh.
How much did it cost?
It was a lot. I literally begged my mom to buy it on a credit card.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Back in the day, credit cards when you had to do the
I know. Yeah, that's what it was.
the paper swipes. Yeah.
But you know, with all the information that we have right now in terms of like YouTube and whatnot, like we didn't have a lot of that back in the day.
Yeah.
You had to actually deep dive into it.
Right.
So I kind of told my mom, listen, can I really, I really want this. I'm really invested in it. I want to get into it. And at first she's like, it's too expensive. You're not gonna use it. You're not gonna do anything with it.
Yeah.
But every time I used to come back from school and was just on it.
So I'm back in school. You're going to school in Sri Lanka or Dubai?
In Dubai.
Okay, so in
Yeah.
Dubai, is hip hop here? Like, do you have your community of people that are also with you?
Yeah. I think it's always to do with like the people that you hang out with as well.
Right.
There were people who would still listen to R&B, I mean like pop music.
Yeah.
There's also groups of people that were listening to hip hop.
Okay.
So I mean, that's when everything kind of like changed for me. There was Tupac, but also like the fun, chill, like more expressive hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest. And,
Yeah.
You know,
The lyricists, the dying breed
exactly.
of hip hoppers nowadays. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I used to got Kendrick. Kendrick on top.
Yeah.
Lyricism one.
Look, if you dive deep into it, like I'm gonna keep saying that, like deep dive into it.
Right.
You're gonna find someone that you actually can associate with.
Yeah.
Because there's so
definitely.
many musicians, there's so many rappers out in
Yeah.
Dubai. Not in Dubai, in the world, but that you can find some sort of connection. So you could find someone who's proper lyricist.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes Chance also is like super conscious,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's very expressive.
Definitely. So then who's your mentor in DJing? So are you with all your high school friends or your friends in school? Are everybody's trying to DJ, or you come out like, hey, I'm a DJ, guys? Like,
That's what it was, man. Yeah, that's what it was. Like, nobody was really getting into DJing at that time. And I was kind of the solo, trying to figure everything out by myself.
yeah.
And it was actually Bliss who kind of like got me on to he was the first one to ask me to come play at Emirates Palace. When he said first gig, he was the
Yeah.
one who said, come play with me. I need a warm up DJ.
Okay.
And that's what it was, man. Is I owe a lot to him, like in terms of progression and like the way you carry yourself. Because I think as a DJ and as an artist, you can't just be good at or skill.
No.
It's a whole package.
Yeah.
And Bliss was the one who kind of like put me on.
Okay.
What did you admire about Bliss in the way that he, performed at his parties that you wanted to try to replicate, and what are some of the unique styles that you wanted to bring specifically for that first show? Because I know it was your first big one. It's a warm up. How were you feeling the night before? What was going through your mind? Like I just love
So
hearing
many.
these first times, because now it's a routine for you, right? So I want to go back to that first time, because there ain't nothing like that popping that cherry.
Yeah, I know, for sure. So I actually used to work in a property company full time, because I was trying to get my footing into the DJ world, and he sent me a message saying, "Chef, I really need a DJ to play at MS Palace." I kind of had to pause a little bit and say, "Is this actually happening?" He asked me to come and DJ at the.
Yeah.
So I was super excited the whole week. It was on a Friday. I got the message on Wednesday. I'm like preparing, like, what am I going to wear? How am I going to, like, what am I going to prep for my gig or not? Because if I over prep, like, it's going to sound too repetitive.
Right.
So there was all these like things going through my mind. But I think it was a good show. I mean, we've been DJing together for 15 years.
Yeah.
So that was the first time when I DJ'd. I was still a little nervous. Like, he was giving me pointers, like as I went. I'm like, Chef, don't DJ too quick, don't mix it too quick. It's a younger crowd. Make sure that everyone's dancing. Look at the crowd, like see how they're feeling.
Yeah.
So there was a little pointers, but Bliss back in the day, he was doing TV, he was doing radio, and like he was doing and he was throwing his own parties as well.
Right.
So this man had like time to vet me and kind of like show me like the road. It's crazy.
Yeah, like he had very limited time, but he definitely saw something in you. And look, 15 years later, look where you guys are at, right? So he definitely saw something maybe before you saw something.
I think so too.
Right. So I think that's so important in anything that you do in your life. To have people who believe in you. Maybe even, I'm not saying you didn't believe in yourself. I'm just saying believe in you and see what you can be, because sometimes maybe when you have those moments of self-doubt, or maybe a moment of just like maybe not particularly the highest confidence, it's important that those people are there tapping you on your shoulder and be like, you can do this.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen you do this.
Yeah.
I know you could do this. You know what I mean? So, and I know a lot of people don't have that, and a lot of people want to walk in the world thinking it's okay. They don't have those type of people, but I think they're wrong. I think you need sponsors in your life.
Yeah. And I think right now, I'm trying to also push people, younger DJs who are coming up. Like you need to have a little bit of confidence, network, because a lot of people are just, like during COVID, there was a lot of bedroom DJs, so they're not really like coming out, interacting with people, seeing how they feel. Like, what's the best way to get a gig? So I'm trying to like push people and say, like, I believe in you. Just have a little bit of confidence and go out and talk to people about it.
Come outside.
Yeah.
Because I think even in other industries, a lot of people just because it's so easy now just to upload something to the internet and just put it out there, and if you get a few likes, something goes viral, you think you're doing something. But a lot of the times it's like that in-person effect, and like actually touching people, meeting people and greeting, and that's the thing that's gonna have bigger impact,
Of course,
and seeing that live reaction.
Such a lost art now to be able to feel the people, because of the pandemic and social media, getting involved with all this stuff. I see with young people all the time, man, they have very difficult time just having real conversations or just interacting with people live, even at parties. It's like people on their phones. I do it myself too. I'm not gonna lie, right? Like sometimes I be getting caught up on my phone too, but it's sort of like I still know how to have a conversation with people, right? Like, and I just feel that the art, and especially since you're a DJ, you feel the people. You're controlling a mood of people, right? So you're actually the orchestrator of the good time, right? So how does that even make you feel when you actually think about like, yo, I'm responsible for hundreds of people's good time every time I go up on the stage?
I actually had a conversation about this recently. When I used to work in the property company, and I still used to DJ on the side. No matter how hard of a day I had, I put on a smile, like at my best ability, come in, because I feel like you're responsible for like making people dance and making people happy. So if you're not in a good mood, everyone else is not going to be in a good mood. So if you're slacking and not putting out your best, people are going to read it. People are going to see it for sure.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes DJs, you can tell when in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I'm just
start playing slow songs, like you got heartbroken. Like,
what are you doing, fam? I didn't come here for this.
Exactly.
What was that moment? See, working in property management, right? What was that moment that you're like, oh, I'm quitting this and I'm DJing full time. This is my profession. I can do this.
When I used to overwork myself. So I would DJ 3 times or 4 times a week, and I still go to work in the morning. So I would have maybe like 4 hours or 3 hours of sleep and still go to work, which was crazy.
How many years were you doing that for?
I did it for like 2 years, or maybe like a year and a half. My mom's like, nah, you're not doing this anymore. You need to take some sort of rest, because I felt like if I did it, because I was still trying to like get my footing. I just needed a little bit of confidence to be like, you know what, just quit your job. I'm pretty sure you can get more money just DJing. So you'll have like some sort of concentration. So that's what I did, man. It's like just one day, it was just, my mom's like, you need to rest. You're just overworking yourself.
Yeah, so it was your mom, man, who supported you. That's what's up. It's great that you had that support system, right? And to be able to remove yourself away from something you weren't really passionate about, to move your full effort into your passion, so you could actually create the music that you want to create the art that you want to create, and then get that recognition.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Does she listen to hip hop, or does she listen to your DJ?
But
set?
my mom used to listen to like Elvis Presley and
okay,
Engelbert,
okay.
like very like South Asian mom type, man. Yeah, like the old school. I don't think she knows what hip hop is.
Oh, okay. Where she's just like push you, like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, she's like, you got to choose one thing or another.
Right.
Like put 100% in either the property thing or put 100% into DJing.
Right. And you've been in Dubai now for quite a long time, right? Since '94. And the Dubai music scene has grown exponentially over the last decade or so.
Yes.
Especially in hip hop. How has it been you witnessing that firsthand, and how does it feel to be part of that sort of explosion here in the UAE?
Back in the day, hip hop was big, like, you know, but I think now, because the internet and it's just very quick. Everything's like, oh, you know what? Let me just drop a song today. And back in the day, I think more people were invested in it. Like if you're doing a hip hop, like it's proper deep roots hip hop kind of thing.
Right.
But now there are more and more hip hop artists. I mean, I feel as they're trying to do it for the quick buck, or it's just doing it for the now.
Right.
Whereas people back in the day was like trying to make classics, trying to see the longevity of it. And there wasn't many back in the day.
Right.
So I mean, it's grown exponentially for sure.
Right.
Like there's like all these record labels now.
Yeah.
Like Warner, Sony, and they're still trying to find the next big artist, you know?
Yeah, and especially like that influence of American artists coming here to the UAE for
Yes.
like the big shows, like whether it's F1 or, you know, Wireless Now or Soul DXB. I sort of feel like the whole world is starting to center around the Middle East and the UAE specifically, because people are like, okay, like people actually go, because this place is still unknown to a lot of people back in America, right? Like in that side of the world.
Yep.
And I think that people have a really big misconception when they hear the UAE or the Middle East. They hear Islam, they hear conservatism.
Yeah.
And hip hop and conservatism don't really go together, right?
Yeah.
I think that the UAE has done a wonderful job in sort of marrying the two as best as they can to try to be progressive, but also holding to their, you know, religious roots and the ethics and their values, but also allowing the space of the expats that are here to be able to enjoy, you know, Western music and Western influences. So I think that's also helped, because people are now like, when I went back to New York, people were like, oh, how does it feel coming back? I was like, there's really not a difference in terms of like your nightlife. People always ask me about the nightlife here. I'm like, the nightlife here is in some aspects crazier than the stuff back in New York.
In New York, yeah.
Right?
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, so I think that hip hop specifically here is well loved. People and all the big clubs here, people love hip hop. I'm not hearing pop music. But it's just sort of like interesting to see that still there's sort of like this sort of ignorance around the culture here in the UAE. And I think that, you know, DJs such as yourself and other sort of prominent DJs here in the region are trying to bring a light here to try to like demystify that a little bit.
Yeah. I think when a lot of people come to Dubai, there's a whole misconception just like goes away.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
As soon as you land,
It's
they're like, what? It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, yo, are these actual real girls? Like, you can actually go talk to them. Like, it's very different from like but there's still like a fine line of how far you can go. It's like, because I feel like in America you can just go as far as.
I said the pool parties here are different.
Yeah.
Where like pool parties here are more chill. Like if you ever go to a Vegas pool party, like you could full on like it's dancing while in bathing suits. Like,
I mean, I've seen all the videos.
Yeah.
I've seen all the videos.
You know what it is here, man? There's real consequences to your real crimes here.
Yeah.
Right?
Like you get caught, you're like,
You get caught, and there's some real stuff that's gonna happen to you. And I think just people have that fear. And I think that's the reason why people are comfortable
yeah.
in these pool parties specifically, where you're not dressed as, you know, covered up and stuff like
you
that.
could dress. I mean, like just the dancing, like yeah, you know what I mean.
I
But
mean,
they
I've
dressing
seen some
out
parties
here.
out here in Dubai too. It
For
gets a
real?
little crazy.
It get crazy?
That's wild. I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
But it's been such a sort of interesting experience to see how Dubai, especially the Middle East, even with Saudi, is going to be able to progress year after year with this.
I was gonna say, so there's international DJs that come out here. do you see, is there a distinction between you feel like your style or the style of DJs in this region that you're like, this is what we're adding to the hip hop culture, this is the element that we're bringing, you know, like, does that go in your mind as when you do a set where you're like, okay, I could just play the stuff that I hear about or I get from the internet, or it's like, I want to put in my culture as well and like add on top of this?
Not so much with, look, like I'm not gonna lie and say DJing didn't come from America. Like it's born in America. Like hip hop is like through and through American, right? So we still try to imitate and emulate DJs from New York and from LA, but we take like bits and pieces from it. Yeah. So it's good that people come to Dubai and kind of see this like whole melting pot of different styles of DJing. Because in New York, it's like a lot of emceeing, scratch, drop a song. Whereas like in LA, it's more blend, it's more longer. Like people take time to kind of like study the music in LA, I feel.
Yeah. Bro, like in New York, the Funk Master Flex bombs, boom! It goes too long. I'm like, yo,
we like to talk shit in New York, right? In the parties.
They're like, yo, let me know where you from, bomb. I'm like, yo, let me know if you got $20, bomb. I'm like, okay, when's the song gonna start?
Like even, like, and that's why I've seen, like, I used to love watching DJs, right? So whether it's like Who Kid, all these other cats, like you just have all these drops, and so in my head I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I just want to make people dance, right? Yeah. So I kind of like fell in love with all the LA style of DJing. Okay. There are still differences with the DJs in America, because we have a lot of different cultures in Dubai. We have the UK crowd, the grime, and then you have the French. Like there's a
French rap,
and then you have a lot of there's a huge African like community in Dubai. So you have a blend of all of that you have to think about when you're playing.
Yeah. So how do you know for a specific part? Like, what's your research process for like putting a playlist together for a party? Is it like you generally have like your own recipe that you generally follow and you change it around the edges, or do you kind of be like, all right, like the type of person who I think is going to be in this crowd, I have to kind of tailor it to that, and I have to kind of switch my general recipe for something like this? Like, what's your thought process? Because I'd be interested to know. I don't know too many DJs, so this is
going to be the first one. Bro, I love music. Like, I love music. I listen to a huge variety of music, whether it's Indian samples, and because I sometimes play at like Indian, we have a party called Stick No Bills. Okay. Where it's like a party that's for third culture kids, like kind of like me, where we play hip hop versions of like Indian songs.
Got it.
So we try and like deep dive into that. So I like to know where I'm playing and what time I'm playing at. Okay. So that I can go home and kind of like I said, deep dive into a rabbit hole. Right. Kind of like fit my style of DJing with the crowd that's there.
Okay. Yeah, if you showing up at 8 o'clock, that's different than you showing up at 2:30 in the morning.
Exactly.
Right. Like
like I said, I love music. So whether it's me doing a piano set or a dancehall or reggae set, if I have to do it, I will do it. Like I'll take some time off, kind of like put my spin into it. So when I'm DJing, everyone knows I'm going to be DJing. Like. Because I love wordplay when I'm DJing. So there's bits of elements of what I put into it that people kind of like understand that, okay, yeah, Chef is DJing now.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. That your Chef is up there. He's on the ones and twos.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I need to get one of those like Mr. Shef Codes.
You don't have your own call sign or anything like that?
I do. Okay. But it's very quiet. It's like Mr. Chef Codes. It's very quick. It's just,
subtle like your personality, but subtle but effective and impactful.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But you do have a sound, because I know like when it's like I guess as someone that attends the party is, you know, when there's a change in the DJ, you're like, who's on it? Let me check. Oh, okay. All right, he's killing it.
I never understood though, for hip hop DJs, why do you guys wait to the end to play all the bangers? Like I'm tired. Like, yo, 3 is like when the party closes at 4, they wait till 3:30 to 4 o'clock to throw all the bangers in there.
Nah, we
Yo,
play.
You need to throw that. You need to throw that earlier.
We play everything early now. 'Cause I feel like the older we get, I think people just want to come out early and leave early.
Yeah, I feel like now in the party
I'm older
scene
as well,
too.
man.
Yeah.
4 o'clock is a young person's sport, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be out of there by 2 at the latest. I gotta preserve this skin. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
So there's no after party now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do some after parties.
My thing now is if it could be a nice day party like that 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there.
okay.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older I get, I'm like, maybe we should do a day party.
Yeah.
That's the vibe now.
That's where it's at, you know?
No, talk about all these festivities and these parties though. Like, let's just take it back to the other side of this. You know, being a DJ isn't all parties and festivals, right? I'm sure you've faced plenty of obstacles getting to where you're at today. What are some of the biggest obstacles you faced and how you overcame them?
I feel without the association, I'm maybe I'm just like saying this out loud, but I feel as a brown man, it was tougher for me to get into certain clubs, and even though I knew the music and they just saw me for who I am, and kind of didn't really give me the space. So it was because of Bliss's like blessing and Bliss's association that I was able to get into the bigger clubs, and Chef can actually play a proper set, and he understands music and reads the crowd, and a lot of other things. So
You were looking at them like, I told you.
yeah, I told you. And I think people see it now and think about it like, oh, you know what? We should have got Chef early on and in some of the clubs and stuff like that. So.
And now you could tell them yesterday's price ain't today's
Yeah,
price.
bro, that's what I tell. Bro, I tell that all the time. Like, yesterday's price is not today's price.
All right, I was gonna say, so was there ever a time where it's like give us both a time that it didn't go so well? You was like, damn, you was just off, the crowd wasn't feeling you no matter what you played, and also give us a time where you're like, oh, this is crazy, I gotta record this.
Yeah. Bro, I've been DJing for so long. I've like the highs and lows.
Yeah.
And I think DJs, a lot of DJs don't go through that anymore. Like, you can't be upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the way that you have to be as a DJ, right? So sometimes I would play at a club and there's no one there. Like, people aren't feeling it. Like, no matter what I played, like I played the biggest song, people aren't dancing, people aren't vibing. And I tweeted saying like, oh, it was shit night at this club.
Yeah.
And then Bliss called me up right away. He goes, please do not put that out in the world. Like, you're gonna be able to play at all the big spots, but just, you need to have patience. You need to have you need to learn everything. Like, go through all the bads, like, because the good will come out of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I played at so many places that I have no FOMO anymore. Like, I played at all the top spots in Dubai.
Right.
And I'm not trying to like blow my own horn, but
Nah, man.
I'm like,
this is when you should do it.
I did whatever I have to do. So the top spots where I DJ at, I always think about all the places that people weren't dancing or people weren't vibing at that time, because like I DJ for Chris Brown, like at the Etihad Plaza before in Formula One.
Oh, wow.
That's 25,000 people.
Yeah.
It's like that's crazy. Like the trajectory from when I was DJing like to all the smaller clubs.
Yeah.
And not even visualizing that you're gonna be at that spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Do those moments prepare you for?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like you're a better DJ because you know what to play. Like, you know, maybe there wasn't a crowd at that time, like 3:30 people, like, you know, coming in, rocking up.
It's true.
So I think you get to learn a lot of things like when you're playing at an empty club.
I feel like what you just said earlier in your kind of monologue, in terms of like not getting too high or too low for anything, is a great metaphor for life.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you have to just kind of be even keel, and it's harder to do that when you're younger, right? When
Yes.
you're younger, you were emotional.
Yeah.
You had that emotional impulse, and you tweeted that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that now because you have a lot more maturation if
Exactly.
you've been through that process, and now you're able to let the play develop. Like, I have my mentor always tells me, let the play develop.
Yes.
Right? Because if you overreact to something, you could be pushing people away. You could be pushing certain opportunities away. So you kind of need to have all the information in order for you to be able to react. And I feel like you are such a great example of that because you know what it feels like to be at the lowest. And I'm sure you've had some peaks.
Yeah.
Right. But now you know not to overreact when you're too high or not underreact when, underreact when you're too high, overreact when you're too low. So you just got to keep it even keel the entire time.
Yeah, I think, like you're talking about having someone to kind of like back you up and being this role model figure, right? I think Bliss was very instrumental in that because he gave me pieces of advices, like little bits of advices along the way of my life that I kind of like look back on. Like he said to me, DJ at a club, like even if no one's there, someone is going to be there and kind of like take notice of you, regardless.
Yeah. So go hard.
Like, go hard.
You never know who's watching.
Never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You never know. Like I didn't know that you're going to be at some of the spots, that I am. So like just do it at your best ability. Like just deliver 100%.
Yeah.
Do you ever like any memorable sets that you keep like, close to your chest, things that mean more than others, or one that's really stands out in your mind that you always go back to and be like, that was me at my peak? That was my best performance. That was like, wow, like I was having an out of body experience type of thing. Like,
and there's so many right now, but it's because I have a wide variety of places I DJ at, and I play different kind of like styles of music. Sometimes I have those moments like on and off when I play. Like I don't usually play. Sometimes I play a hip hop set, but sometimes I play like a drum and bass and like bio funk and have like these different sounds. And so it's cool for me to, like I said, deep dive into that. Yeah. And then see that I can actually do that.
Okay. You ever like have a set where you're like, you know what, let me try something new, see how the people react to this?
I
like,
do it all the time.
You're like, okay, and then sometimes when it flops, you're like, I won't try that one again.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe read the crowd better, Chef. Notes taken.
Yeah. One thing is, so in our podcast and in our platform, we always talk about, we don't always like to just highlight like, okay, it may have been easy for you or you grinded it out and all that, but like what are we want to deep dive into like what are the techniques of like, have you ever faced anxiety while DJing or doing a top gig, or how do you bounce yourself back from like, all right, that wasn't good, it was a rough night, let me perform better. Like, how do you feel about, like mental health in this space and, overcoming that? Like, are you big on that, or like, what are the techniques you do?
Early on, my friend told me about like meditation. So he kind of like gave me this frequency that you have to listen to. So it quiets the mind, because I was DJing like 6 nights a week sometimes. And I was trying to like avoid burnout, so that one day I would just do nothing, like literally do nothing, like not watch any TV. I mean, I would watch TV just to kind of like not think about music. But the meditation really helped so much that I feel like I was floating. So it kind of like quietened the other aspects of life. 'Cause sometimes I was sleeping and I have different ideas of like DJing, or I can put this song together with that song. And I don't think I've had anxiety or faced any like stage fright or whatnot. But I think COVID was a time where I had to reflect on myself, because I was on cruise control. Right. Like I was just like automatic, just like on back and forth. And I wouldn't say I was borderline depressed, but like I had to talk to people and kind of understand that this is not my fault. Yeah. Like it's something that happens, and then like it eventually goes off. Yeah. It's not in the now. Yeah. Like there's always there's a timeline for everything, right? Yeah.
Doesn't always shine forever, doesn't rain forever.
Exactly.
As someone who sometimes goes through his own sort of periods, I always have to remind myself and look myself in the mirror, this is not gonna last. Yeah. The good times not gonna last, and the bad times not gonna last. The anxiety's not gonna last, and the jubilant feelings that you have don't last, right? So you need
Exactly.
to know how to react in every single portion of those emotional cycles, and also talking to people. I used to be someone who used to suffer in silence all the time because I didn't want to show that my emotional vulnerability was a sign of weakness. I talk about my feelings now. I let the other person know how I'm feeling, or the group of people that I know what I'm feeling, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Because ultimately, you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
You need to let those things out. You can't hold it back.
Do you think it's also because it's like a whole masculinity thing? Like as a man, you're not
Of
supposed
course.
to kind of
Yeah,
like,
so-
yeah,
it's
of
just
course.
inbuilt. Like
Definitely,
I'm
definitely.
gonna battle it with myself. Like regardless of what I have to go through, I'm gonna
weak.
do
Yeah.
it by myself.
That's
Yeah.
weak. That's
Yeah.
weak, though.
So now, like, I talk to a lot more people now. I tell them how I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling anxious. I'm not feeling. So it's good to be surrounded with a good group of friends.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
even if you're not feeling like 100% when you're DJing that day, you kind of like say to people, "Listen, my head's not right."
Yeah.
You know, and you need people that kind of understand that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes like they just want to milk you.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah, they don't
Yeah.
care.
They don't care,
Yeah.
bro. So
Man,
Yeah.
I'm
And they want to be around you when you're high, when
Yes.
everything is good. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
when it's slow and things are not always going to be great. It's like
No, it's not.
they're nowhere to be found.
yeah,
you know where to be
Yeah.
found, bro. The people that you need to hold on to. I don't ever look around who's there when everything's popping. I look around when I'm low.
Yeah.
Who's there when I'm low?
yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are real fickle in your life, and you know, even with this podcast journey, there's
Yeah.
been the same consistent group of people who've been rocking with us since episode 1
Yeah.
to now. And obviously, we're gonna love the people that you pick up along the way, but you
Yeah.
can never forget those people who were there for you
Yeah,
on
exactly.
day one.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah.
By the way, what's the frequency that you listen to? Because I heard something like Andre 3000, his
Yeah.
flute album was at a certain frequency.
I don't know the exact frequency. The one that I was listening to is called Hollow Sync.
Hollow Sync?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's like a 528 hertz is a very good frequency that you can listen to. There's a lot of playlists on Spotify also that.
Yeah.
But you need to have really good headphones to.
Okay.
But the frequency that he sent me was it was something else. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. All right.
That's
Send it to, I'm going to ask you for it.
Yeah, no, I'll send it over to you. Yeah.
Definitely.
Are you someone that, because you love music all the time, it's very difficult for you to shut your mind off?
Yes.
Even though you can never shut your mind off completely, but you find it very difficult to do so?
I don't say it's a difficult thing. It's difficult for me to enjoy it. So if I don't know who's a DJ at certain places, I can't go and enjoy it.
Right.
If I don't like the music,
Right.
because I'm going to overthink it. And it's the same thing with my partner, my girlfriend. She loves music, so we're in the same boat. So if we don't
Yeah.
like the music, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, to spice things up real quick, what are like, you can either mention like the clubs or the parties, you know,
Yeah.
what are like the top 3, top 5 parties right now? Somebody comes to Dubai, where do they have to go?
Ooh.
He might be getting some clients, man. You can expand it to your top 10 if you want. Like,
But it depends on what kind of music you're listening to, right? So I would say for hip hop, right now there's Surf Club on Fridays,
yeah.
and then on Saturdays we have Blue Oasis. You have all these like hip hop artists coming through, and then where's this other good place? I say Monkey Bar, but Monkey Bar on Thursdays is my night, like the night that we do, but it's not like fully hip hop. It's like it's very like bass heavy,
Okay.
like Miami bass sometimes.
Okay.
We just like it's honestly this for nerds, music nerds, just like nerding out.
That's dope.
Every time someone drops a song, we're trying to like find something that's very in the same line.
Okay.
So that it's fun. So those are the 3 I would say, man.
Okay.
And in this industry, you mentioned earlier in the episode, you know, there's all these bedroom DJs. How do you make sure you stay relevant and at the top of your game, especially because this is a very competitive industry?
Yeah.
It's not a big country. It's not a huge country. And there's so many venues here. How do you stay at the top of the list for each one of these venues to make sure that Shef Codes is there?
Oof. Just be yourself, man. Like, be the nice guy. Don't be the A word. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be really. I think just learn your craft and try to network properly.
Okay.
Not like be in your face and say, "Oh, listen, give me a gig, give me a gig, give me a gig." Like it's annoying. Could be annoying.
Yeah.
So for my New York crowd out there, don't be thirsty. And don't be an asshole. Okay, you hear that? Be kind.
Yeah, I think the work speaks for itself, right? Like just progress yourself and like visualize where you want to be.
Right.
A lot of bedroom DJs don't know how to network, like because they're not coming out. They don't know how to like talk to one another properly. There's this missing link, I feel, with the outside world. So, you can still like do mixes, just continue to learn that part of it. But I feel like networking and visualizing the emotion firsthand is really important.
Okay. And I guess for up and coming DJs, who should you be networking with? Like when you're out and just trying to get your first gig or you're trying to get your first big gig, like what's some advice that you would give to, up and coming DJs on that?
Good question. Write down all the places that you want to be at. So whether it's blue, whether it's surf, do your homework. Come in, see what they're playing. See how you can add value to that the music policy at that time. Seeing how you can improve or be better than what's being played there. If you think you have it in you to be better than that or give some sort of value, talk to the promoters, talk to the DJs who are there, talk to people are gonna always remember a good conversation.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? So if I have a conversation with you tomorrow, be like, oh yeah, I met Chef the other day and we had this really good conversation, so I'm gonna call Chef because I need a DJ tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, I think the thing people have to realize as well is do all the other places or the other things that people aren't willing to do. You got to build a resume.
Yeah.
Because before you could jump into blue, it's like, where else have you played at?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. And it goes both ways, as in, if you're coming from a different country, you still have to like make chess moves. You still have to kind of like build it, unless you're at the top of your game in your country.
Right.
Like if I come to New York, if I go to London, I can't be playing at the top clubs then.
Yeah.
Like unless I'm really good friends with all the DJs. But how do you become good friends with other DJs?
Yeah.
It's like you're networking. You're going to all the spots. You're playing at very similar spots, or like let's just say Charles and Charles. Shout out Charles.
Shout out to Charles.
Let's just say, for example, he came and we played together. So if I go to Miami, where he's at, I can still have the connection because we DJ'd at very similar spots. So it's just a matter of like being good at your craft, being good at like networking.
Yeah.
I guess what's your top 3 dream list cities where you want to go DJ? Do you know the venues in those cities, or you just know the cities? At this point? You can give us 2. 1,
I like the like I know we're talking about hip hop right now, but
or anything.
House,
It's open.
house is very. It's something that I really like playing right now because it's based on emotion and it's based on curation versus hip hop. Because hip hop, it's all about creativity. You got to know the songs. You got to know like the lyrics and whatnot.
The beat drop.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah.
So I would say LA for hip hop if I'm ever going to America.
Yeah.
And then I'd say Ibiza for like house music.
That's a pretty.
Is there any particular spots in LA or in Ibiza?
Not really, man. Have you ever heard about a spot called Ribs and R&B or R&B and Ribs?
It sounds familiar, but LA is known for having a bunch of like different parties like that.
It's a day party, and it's all just really talented DJs that play R&B.
Okay.
So it's really cool, and that's something that I would love to play at.
Okay.
In Ibiza, I wish I can play at High and all those other spots.
Yeah,
But you know, there's another spot that I would love to play at in London too.
Okay.
Like at all the outside spots, like the festivals and whatnot. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's super dope. Super dope.
That's super dope. And I guess taking it back a little bit, like how did you, when you were a young DJ, you reading the crowd, how did that massively improve to where you are right now? Because I'm assuming the time where you're like, all right, I'm losing the crowd a little bit. Now you're able to identify a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like what are some things that you look for? What are some of the things that you like kind of like do in order to like get the crowd back into it? Like what are some of the things that you notice about the crowd that you didn't notice when you were younger that you kind of notice now? If that makes sense.
Look, I always had one rule. The one rule is make the girls dance and the guys follow, right? Yeah. So that's my first advice.
Clubs are for the girls, man.
So always play for the girls. The guy was always follow. Like you got to play, you know, you still got to play stuff for the guys too. But like if the girls are dancing, the guys wanna dance with all the girls too.
I don't need to tell you because you're a professional. The only two songs that guys need is March Madness and Dreams of Nightmares,
exactly.
and that's it. That's all we need for the night. Everything else can be for the girls.
Yeah,
you play those two songs, guys are happy.
You good. But yeah, I think that's my only rule.
Okay.
Nice. A quick one too. What are your top 3? And you can mix up whether you want it to be all do's or all don'ts. Top 3 do's or don'ts at a party.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Don't ask requests like.
Yo, but I have debates about this one. Whatever it is, okay. I know you're in a relationship.
I'll explain.
I know you're in a relationship, but pretty girls think they can go make requests.
Yeah,
like pretty. I'm talking about pretty.
No,
girls.
even sometimes it's annoying.
It's annoying because
even when guys do it, I've seen guys do that.
No, sometimes the guys be weird. Like, sometimes you know what? Sometimes some people come up to me, they request a song and say, "Yo, chef, why don't you follow me on Instagram?" It's weird sometimes. Like what? Let's just do one step at a time.
Let me see if I even want to play this song.
Exactly. But look, if you're creating a mood, right? You know you're gonna play the song. Like you know you're gonna play that big song. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like have a little bit of patience that we'll play later on. Yeah. But I mean, and also read the room. Like if you're not, if I'm playing hip hop, like I'm not gonna play house music. Or if I'm playing house music, I can't play hip hop.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
You gotta wait an hour and a half.
So don't request. That's not what we got for 2 and 3.
I think the other one is don't take videos all the time. Like just be in the moment. I think
you as the DJ don't take videos all the time.
No,
not even the crowd.
Okay, the crowd.
Because a lot of times, like, they're listening to their song, and like that's what I've seen in Ibiza when like all these like top DJs are playing. They're trying to create a mood, and all you see is
just the phone, just watching them like that.
Flashlight. Yo, when Black Coffee was here, when we came, or when I was here at the end of the year, all you saw was phones. I was like, you're not even enjoying it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not even a big house guy. Like I enjoy like good DJs. Like, but I was like, you guys are not even enjoying this. At all.
Exactly.
I want to be vibing to this right now.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have a lot of like when I'm guilty of this because I don't take a lot of videos and photos when I'm out because I'm trying to enjoy the moment.
But that's my problem too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in the moment and I completely forget. I'm like, oh, I was DJing at Surf yesterday. I should have taken more videos, or I should have done this. I should have done that, because I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm like enjoying, like people are there that I haven't seen in a while, like having conversation with them. So it's just like, it's just be present, I feel.
Yeah.
And don't buy Shef Codes shots while he's DJing. Cause
no, send me the shots.
Send them the shots.
Just once a week, though. I'm not trying to do that.
So basically...
Wait, was number 3? Hold on, you got one more.
Number 3.
I was going to recap.
I don't know. Just dance.
Dance.
Yeah.
Do dance. You come to a party, dance.
Yeah.
Shake, do a two-step, do something, you know what I mean?
Like even do a TikTok dance, learn it.
So basically, don't be a weirdo. Don't ask him for his IG and give a bad song request.
No,
that includes pretty girls. Don't be a social recluse. Don't be on your phone. And then just shake. That's it. Just move. You know what I mean? Two-step. I know everybody got a little two-step. You know what I mean? Some people don't.
It'd be dangerous when like, when girls ask you for requests, because like people say like, oh. This girl, Chef is talking to that girl. I can't believe he's talking to her.
Oh, yeah. Put you in a hot spot.
Yeah.
Put you in a hot spot.
Because you never know who's there.
Yeah.
I've had one in London, a DJ friend. He was like, bro, this is he was with his girl for like 8 years, and he was like, dog, this is like a tough industry to be in a relationship.
Yeah, it is tough.
It's tough because you meet so many people.
Yeah, and you want to be nice too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, I think women now mistake kindness for like flirtiness or something.
That's a general
Yeah.
human problem. I think I said
Yeah.
this in a past episode. People mistake attractive people being nice to you as flirting when you should just be nice to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As a general thing.
That's
Yeah.
a general thing. You should not mistake somebody's kindness for attraction towards you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, part of our episode, so in closing, we always ask our guests, what is their last flight out moment? And we mean by last flight out is, what was that moment or that step that you took to kind of get on that DJ flight to like, this is my career, this is my passion, I'm going to take this to the next level? What was that moment for you?
When I quit my job, like because I was in this position of trying to choose what I really wanted to do. Do I want to go to the corporate route, or do I want to go to the music route? So I took the music route. Because I took that route, I kind of had to put everything that I've had, all my energy, into DJing.
Right.
Because I know that, like, if I fail, I'm gonna like fall flat on my face.
Right.
So I put all my energy trying to do as much as I can, but humanly can, to be the best DJ as I could.
Okay.
And I think because of that initial quitting my job and me putting all my eggs in one basket, I kind of had to like power through. I knew that this was make it or break it for me.
That's inspiring. And for any up and coming DJs who listen to your music and want to follow in your footsteps, what's some pieces of advice that you would like to leave to them so they can actually try to take some elements of that and add it on to their own journey?
Learn the basics, learn how to beat match, but also be a master of curation, like curate music properly. There's a lot of people, what they do is listen to top 40, even if it's a top 40 song, try to have your spin on a different mix. Like I feel like curation is really important right now, but also learn the basics of how you become a great DJ. Like learn how to scratch if you want to.
Right.
Have these like little skills that could put you onto a different level. Because a lot of DJs will learn how to beat match and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's important to have a little bit of skill like scratching and curation, and then also like see how you can read the crowd properly. Like I think it's a craft in itself.
Definitely.
What was the longest thing in between the technical skills or the reading of the crowd? What took you the longest, you think, to actually get down pat?
Reading the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a human thing. Like DJing, I feel it's an emotional. Like you have to read people's body. Like if they're like swaying, they're like, oh, maybe they're interested in this, so you play a little bit more of what that is. If it's a reggaeton, like keep playing the reggaeton, see how they react. So you can't even go too deep into it. Like you gotta.
You see them twerking, you're like, I gotta get
yeah, exactly. Like if like, and also kind of like see where people are from. Like if it's like you guys are from
New York,
like kind of see what they like, what they play in New York. You can't play a West Coast song in New York,
Not really.
You can't play the Kendrick song in Canada.
No, you shouldn't. You get kicked out and you bang.
Yeah. You gotta understand that like human part of it too.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, what upcoming things can people look forward to you? Where can they find you at? Like, what special projects you got on deck coming up? So
I'm trying to do more day parties now. So I have a podcast called Cooking with Chef where I bring in younger DJs into the kitchen, sort of like cook up a mix.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to elevate the younger talent now in Dubai, and kind of like give them a little bit of a spotlight. And so I'm trying to do an outside version of that called Cookout with Chef. So we have the cook-in and then we have the cookout. So the cookout with Chef is technically my version of a barbecue. If I had a big house, how would I run it?
Okay. Wow.
That's what I'm doing right now. So because I'm trying to get into F&B, man. Like I don't know how to get into it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And where can the audience find you on social?
Find me Instagram, Mr. Shef Codes, MrShefCodes.
Right. And thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode. Again, hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find us at Last Flat Out Podcast across all of our social media accounts. You can find me, Jay, at JLubriel26 across all of my social media accounts. And you can follow Mike at
If Mike Was Here.
Peace. See everybody next week, same time, same place.
Peace.
All right, man. That's what's
wrap.
up, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, dog.
Thank you,
Man,
bro.
appreciate your time,
Thank you, man.
That was
Thanks so much.
awesome.
That was good, bro.
My life too prestige.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a last
What's
flight
going
out.
on, man?
Flat out.